The Grand Canyon has long been a subject of fascination and mystery, with much of its secrets locked away from the public eye. Among the most intriguing discoveries are the Egyptian artifacts, giant mummies, and colossal bones that some believe were excavated from the canyon. These antiquities raise a key question: why is 90% of the Grand Canyon off-limits to the public? Some suggest that these hidden treasures are too significant to be shared. In fact, a drone recently captured images of what was never meant to be seen, deep within the Grand Canyon. What if we told you that the U.S. government does not want you to know what lies within the caves of this natural wonder? Back in the early 1900s, explorers set out to uncover the mysteries of this colossal structure, but when they stumbled upon one of the most significant discoveries of their lives, they were quickly silenced. Join us as we peel back the layers of this tale and reveal the evidence that might make you question everything you thought you knew about history and the Grand Canyon's mystical underground land. On April 5, 1909, the Arizona Gazette grabbed everyone's attention with a sensational front-page story about strange caves and artifacts found in the Marble Canyon area of the Grand Canyon. According to the report, two archaeologists funded by the Smithsonian, Professor S.A. Jordan and G. Kincaid, were behind the discovery. The Grand Canyon, a natural wonder shaped over millions of years by the Colorado River, has long been a subject of study for scientists, revealing fossils, rocks, and a rich history. Yet, the region's allure goes beyond its visual beauty. For years, researchers have unearthed remarkable evidence of ancient civilizations. In 1908, President Theodore Roosevelt was focused on protecting the Grand Canyon from those seeking to exploit its natural resources. Plans were made to close off large portions of the canyon to preserve it for future generations. During this time, a determined explorer named G. Kincaid, intrigued by the possibility of hidden treasure within the canyon's vast landscape, set out to investigate. He was determined to discover anything of value before the government sealed off the area entirely. Teaming up with Professor S.A. Jordan, they embarked on an expedition down the Colorado River, deep into the Grand Canyon. About 42 miles from a place known as Lover's Crystal Canyon, they reached an area 2,000 feet above the canyon floor. There, they made an extraordinary find, a staircase leading up to a massive cave, a mystery just waiting to be explored. Kincaid and Jordan, driven by excitement, ventured into the cave with hopes of finding minerals and gold. As they explored, the situation became even more intriguing. Kincaid described the entrance as spacious enough for several people to walk side by side. After traveling 60 feet further, they stumbled upon rooms that appeared to be ancient living spaces, complete with oval entrances and sophisticated ventilation systems. Slowly, the realization hit them: they had potentially discovered something monumental. Could this be an ancient underground city, like those found in Turkey and other parts of the world? Their excitement reached new heights when they discovered a massive cross-shaped hall, with a giant statue at its center. About 30 meters from the entrance, the room stretched for an incredible distance, and they even discovered an idol that seemed to represent the primary god of this ancient civilization. The statue resembled a Buddha figure, holding lotus flowers in each hand, strikingly similar to spiritual figures from our own ancient past. Interestingly, Kincaid and Jordan hadn't ventured into the Grand Canyon on their own accord. Rumors suggest that they were appointed for this mission. After their exploration, they returned to the Smithsonian to share their findings and to seek further involvement in uncovering the potential of the massive underground city. However, it was in January 2014 that some revealing information surfaced about the origins of their expedition. It was discovered that Kincaid and Jordan had been sent to investigate findings mentioned by John Wesley Powell, the first director of the Bureau of American Ethnology at the Smithsonian. Powell, a military figure and a leading geologist, had led the first American scientific expedition down the Colorado River in 1870. Powell himself had documented signs of ancient civilizations along the river, including beaten paths, ruins, and hieroglyphs. Since Powell's time, many researchers have ventured into the Grand Canyon, uncovering over 400 Native American sites, some dating back as far as 12,000 years. It is possible that Kincaid's expedition was, in part, an attempt to locate the hidden cave mentioned by Powell. Further complicating the story, Native American tribes, including the Hopi, have long spoken of an underground civilization, adding layers of mystique to the canyon's history. According to Hopi legends, their ancestors may have lived in an underground city within the Grand Canyon, a place where anyone who entered would be captured. These stories, passed down through generations, describe an enchanting subterranean world that captured the imaginations of Kincaid and Jordan as they continued their exploration. When Kincaid and Jordan ventured deeper into the cave, they realized that the tribal legends might have had a kernel of truth. As they explored further, they uncovered an intricate network of rooms and tunnels, and what they found within them seemed to defy conventional history. Among the most striking discoveries were copper tools, including knives, spears, and other artifacts, as well as curious carvings on the walls that resembled Egyptian hieroglyphs. Yes, right in the middle of the United States, these explorers had uncovered an ancient world that seemed to connect to cultures far beyond North America. As they ascended a smooth granite stairway deeper into the cavern, they encountered an even greater shock: giant mummies, each over 2.7 meters tall, wrapped in dark linen. Kincaid noted that he took photographs of these extraordinary findings, but none of the pictures were ever seen again. This is where the story takes a controversial turn. After discovering these mummies and artifacts, Kincaid and Jordan planned to share their findings with the Smithsonian. However, their attempts to inform the authorities were met with silence. According to the Phoenix Gazette, a team of scientists had visited the cave and discovered even more tunnels, which led to vast chambers, some as large as 30 or 40 feet across, extending nearly a mile into the canyon's rock. In these chambers, they found storerooms filled with seeds, a dining hall stretching over 700 feet, and even a room filled with an unpleasant, deadly smell. The artifacts they uncovered, including copper tools, gold cups, pottery, and hieroglyphic writings, appeared to originate from a culture far removed from the Native Americans of the region. Some even speculated that these discoveries hinted at an ancient civilization from the Orient. Despite the magnitude of these findings, when Kincaid sought further information from the Smithsonian, he was met with complete silence. The Phoenix Gazette had published a front-page story about the Smithsonian sending a team of archaeologists to assist Kincaid, yet there is no record of these artifacts or any follow-up research today. The mystery surrounding the Grand Canyon and its hidden treasures continues to haunt those who seek answers, suggesting that some of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the modern age may have been deliberately suppressed. Regarding the mysterious underground settlement discovered in the Grand Canyon, the Smithsonian has consistently denied any evidence of Egyptian artifacts being found in North or South America. According to one representative from the Smithsonian, they are pretty sure none of this ever happened, dismissing the entire story. However, this raises a significant question: why did the Arizona Gazette publish such a detailed account of the discovery, only to never mention it again? Based on what G. Kincaid uncovered in that cave, some people believe there may have been contact with non-native civilizations before Columbus arrived in the Americas. This idea challenges the traditional narrative that all Native Americans came from ancient explorers crossing the Bering Strait. Some even entertain the possibility that the settlement Kincaid discovered could be evidence of ancient aliens. If the Grand Canyon truly holds answers to Earth's history, why are authorities working to suppress this knowledge? It is said that the area where Kincaid's cave is located is off-limits to everyone, including park staff, supposedly for safety reasons. There has been much debate over whether Kincaid truly discovered remnants of an ancient civilization, or if it was a fabrication. While none of these claims have been definitively proven, what is undeniable is that this wouldn't be the first time ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs have been found in unexpected places. For example, Egyptian hieroglyphs have been discovered in Australia by explorers like Brian Forster. Other reports claim to have found Egyptian writings in places like Morin County, Utah, including one strange story involving a deer hunting trip, where explorers found rock formations resembling gravestones and a large heart-shaped rock covered in Egyptian writing. Such discoveries raise significant questions about how far Egyptian influence may have spread across the world thousands of years ago. Could it be that the Grand Canyon contains evidence of an ancient Egyptian presence, and if so, is the suppression of this information hindering our understanding of the past? It's worth noting that this is not the first time the Grand Canyon has been linked to ancient Egypt. Many of the canyon's geological landmarks bear names tied to Egyptian mythology, such as Isis Temple, named after the Egyptian goddess of healing and magic, and Horus Temple, named for the falcon-headed sky god. Other locations in the canyon are named after deities from Roman and Arthurian legends, such as Apollo Temple and Gwi Castle. These names were not randomly assigned but were chosen by 18th-century geologist Clarence Dutton, who conducted a detailed survey of the region in 1882. Dutton believed the Grand Canyon was such an impressive natural wonder that its features should reflect the richness of global cultures and religions. Thanks to Dutton and his successors, the Grand Canyon's landmarks serve as a tribute to diverse mythologies and ancient legends. This connection between the Grand Canyon and Egypt makes it easier to believe that Kincaid and S.A. Jordan might have uncovered a hidden Egyptian world within the canyon. Adding further intrigue is a Hopi Indian legend that tells of an underground settlement where different tribes lived before they were forced to leave after a conflict. According to the legend, the chief of the One Heart people sent a messenger to the Temple of the Sun for help, but the messenger never returned. The story suggests that one day the messenger will return, and the ancestral lands will be restored to the Hopi people. This legend raises further questions about potential connections between ancient civilizations of Egypt, Asia, and North America. Could the underground city mentioned in the legend have been discovered by Kincaid and Jordan, but is being kept secret out of respect for indigenous peoples? Perhaps this could explain the lack of follow-up articles or official acknowledgement of the discovery. What is clear is that there is a layer of secrecy surrounding Kincaid's findings, leading some to wonder if the artifacts they uncovered contained advanced technologies that people from that era simply couldn't comprehend. This is similar to the modern mystery surrounding powerful Egyptian stones that are said to affect mirrors, electronics, water, and even magnetic fields. While it's unclear whether these phenomena are real or simply hoaxes, they highlight the hidden possibilities that may have been locked away in the cave deep within the Grand Canyon. The exploration of the Grand Canyon, then, is not just about rocks and valleys. It's a journey filled with historical mysteries, native legends, and surprising finds that force us to rethink our understanding of the past. But the secrecy surrounding these findings may not only involve ancient artifacts, it might also include advanced technologies that challenge our conventional view of ancient civilizations. Could these discoveries help explain the construction of ancient wonders like the pyramids or massive stone structures around the world? One thing is certain: Kincaid and Jordan's discovery of a mysterious cave isn't the only unexplained phenomenon in the Grand Canyon. There have been other anomalies that explorers have spent years trying to explain, such as the presence of giant humanoid figures and signs of lost or ancient cultures. One such culture is the Anasazi, also known as the Ancient Ones, or the Ancient Enemies. These mysterious people were scattered throughout the Southwest, leaving behind strange stone structures that still puzzle archaeologists. Sites such as Mesa Verde, Four Corners, Mummy Cave, Cho Canyon, Stanton's Cave, and the Canyons of the Ancients National Monument were abandoned by the time Europeans arrived. What remains are expertly crafted stone structures, many of which align with the movements of the sun and moon. There are also peculiar towers and underground spaces called kivas that continue to baffle scholars. While most researchers believe the Anasazi simply blended into the modern Puebloans, Native American stories from the Navajo, Paiute, and Hopi tribes suggest that the region was once home to a more brutal group of people, who were either driven out or wiped out before the Anasazi arrived. Some believe there was mixing between these ancient groups and the newcomers. In addition to these sites, there is Stanton's Cave, located near South Canyon. Though it was initially thought to be man-made, the cave is sealed off today. The interior is peculiar, with a vaulted ceiling that doesn't appear natural. Archaeologists have found evidence of ancient habitation, and some interesting artifacts were uncovered during an official excavation in the 1960s. However, much of this evidence has been called into question, particularly after the events surrounding Kincaid's cave discovery. There are troubling gaps in the Smithsonian's records, particularly concerning Kincaid and Professor Jordan. Despite their significant claims, there is no official documentation or paper trail of the artifacts they supposedly uncovered. When the Smithsonian was directly asked about the expedition, a representative claimed they had no involvement in the excavation. This raises suspicion that Kincaid and Jordan's story might have been fabricated. Conspiracy theorists, however, have a different interpretation. Some suggest that the Smithsonian deliberately destroyed the artifacts to maintain a particular historical narrative. They point to other cases, like the mysterious disappearance of fire-hued coffins found in Alabama in 1892, which were reportedly handed over to the Smithsonian but then disappeared without a trace. This incident further fuels the belief that the Smithsonian may have intentionally suppressed certain archaeological findings. Other theories suggest that Kincaid and Jordan's tale is part of a larger conspiracy to hide evidence of ancient civilizations or even extraterrestrial influence. Despite the intrigue, there's no solid proof that Professor Jordan ever existed, and Kincaid himself remains a mysterious figure. The only known record of Kincaid is a brief mention in an article from the Arizona Gazette, where he is described as a photographer who visited Yuma, Arizona, as a tourist. Strangely, there is no mention of the incredible artifacts he allegedly found in the Grand Canyon. The article also discusses Kincaid's search for gold, but gold mining in the Grand Canyon was prohibited after President Theodore Roosevelt declared the area a national forest in 1908. Could Kincaid have been using a false identity to avoid detection? All of these questions raise a central issue: what is the real truth about Kincaid's expedition? Conspiracy theorists continue to speculate on the story, with some suggesting that the caves are a gateway to another dimension, where reptilian beings from another world have been manipulating events for centuries. Others believe that local authorities are suppressing information to prevent widespread panic about a potential alien invasion. Ultimately, the truth behind Kincaid's discovery may remain hidden forever, unless someone is able to venture back into the caves to uncover what lies within. Until then, the mystery surrounding the Grand Canyon's forbidden secrets remains unsolved.